Hi guys, Kelly Bear here with the Sunkissed Explorer, and today I wanted to tell you my top 10 places to take your kids in San Angelo to get outside and do some fun adventures without breaking the bank. So come with me as I explore all these options. And before we get started, if you guys like hearing about all the different things to do in San Angelo with your kids and you like my videos, please think about subscribing to my channel and like and comment on this video. It helps me get my viewership up and just really helps me out. Alright, so number one on my list is the San Angelo State Park. And we held off going here for quite a long time because we didn't think it was going to be really worth it to pay an entrance fee just to go kind of hang out. But now that we're mountain biking, we're using it every single week. And I'm really glad we did because it introduced us to this really awesome state park. So it's off of FM 2288. So if you know where the old Chick-fil-A is, you take that road all the way down past Arden, and then there's two entrances. The south entrance is just after Arden, and that side is going to be less shade. I've heard it's better in the fall and winter because it gets all the sun, so it warms up a little bit more. I like that side because that was the first trail we did as a family, and it was a lot easier to take my daughter who is 6 on it. There wasn't as much coverage, so she could see everything around her and got a little bit more confident. If you keep going down FM 2288, it'll eventually curve, and that's where the north entrance is. It's a bit of a drive farther, I mean, a couple minutes, not like hours, but after you see the exit for it, there's a gate, and you've got to have the code to get in through the north side entrance gate. That side has a lot more shade, way better for picnics, and we just even parked there and practiced mountain biking just in the parking lot area. There's a whole lot of greenery and grass out there. For the entrance fee, so it's $4 per adult. Kids 12 and under are free, or you can get their annual pass. So my husband bought the annual pass under him and got a nifty card like this, and it gets anybody in his carload in for that year as long as he is with them. That was key. When we first started going, we were all going together, so it didn't matter. And then I went once by myself with the kids, and no longer is valid. He has to be there with me to use it. You can add your spouse onto it as well, but it's an extra $25 fee. So the annual pass was $70, adding me, it was $25, maybe $30, somewhere around that range. I was a little bit disappointed with the add-on fee. I thought that was a little bit, I just didn't like that. I thought I should be included. I'm a spouse, but hey, that's their rule. So I added myself on because we started using it, myself and the kids, to keep riding. Let's see, also they have a lot of picnic areas on the south side as well. I know I said the north side was really great for that with the shade, but when we did the south side picnic, there's a huge overlook to see Lake Nasworthy, and that was really pretty. We just went up there one night, packed, I think we did Chick-fil-A that night, packed a meal to go and ate some dinner out there and changed it up. Just sometimes a change of scenery is everything you need. And the park rangers there are phenomenal. They also will give you a Texas guide and a map. You're going to want to keep both. I've used this quite a few times just to figure out where we're going to park and which entrance I was going in the beginning. And then I also downloaded the Trail Forks app. This isn't sponsored by them. This is just the one that I use. If you do that one, it'll tell you the exact trail you're on with the name and the level. So if you're going to mountain bike it, you kind of want to know if you're going to be at a beginner, intermediate, or advanced if you're not as advanced like I am. And it also helped me because I am a little directionally challenged, so it was nice once we started going and kind of looping around, looking at my map and saying, where exactly am I? It'll track where I'm at, so I can either hook into another trail and find my way back or just keep going. Eventually, you will find your way out. Also, you have to have a reservation for the state park, so you can't just show up. So every time I want to go, at least the day before, I'll log on to their website. I'll put the link in the description below and make my reservation, just say how many people are coming, my park pass ID number, and if you have any trouble, you can always call them at the state park and they will help you make the reservation. So super awesome people. They'll help you out. Take care of that park. I love it. don't ruin it for us. And if you want to go early, another thing is a lot of the times we wanted to do our rides in the morning before it got really stinking hot here in the summer, and you can go before it opens. You just have to call at least the day before and get the gate code, and you have to have already made your reservation because they won't give you the gate code unless you've got your reservation. So there is an option to ride early or later, so just keep that in mind. All right, place number 2 is the KOA Trail. So this is directly next to the KOA campgrounds right off of Knickerbocker, and it's a 2-mile road that just loops around the mountain. So it's super accessible. It's got houses on one side and then the mountain on the other, so you're gonna have people out and about. So if you're wanting a really secluded run or walk, this isn't the place for you. But for me, for the comfort of running by myself, I really like going here because there's so many people. I have that safety in numbers type feel. And it's a great place. I've taken my dogs with my kids, and it's a 2-mile loop, so they aren't so exhausted by the time we get done. It's doable with young kids. It also butts up to the lake, so you get a little bit of a lake scene. You also get some shade on the second half because the first loop was where I get my son, and then the second way down I had shade, which was nice. That one's free. There's plenty of parking. During COVID, they kind of restricted the parking because they didn't want so many people out and about, but they've lifted that, so there's plenty of parking now. And there's trash bins there, so you pick up after your pets. There isn't water there, so bring your own water, but it's a really fun place just to kind of take a short little trip with your kids and get them out of the house. Number 3 is Lake Nasworthy for the beach section. So the actual beach area is called the Mary E. Lee Park Beach, and it's just a short strip of beachy, sandy area that you can park at. It's right next to the nature center, so if you've ever been there for one of your million birthday parties you go to with your kids, it's directly next to that off of Knickerbocker, heading towards the airport again on the right-hand side. There's a large parking area, so you don't ever have to worry about that filling up, except on 4th of July, because that definitely fills up. Other than that, there's no shade, so if you're going to be there for a long time or you want to have lunch, I recommend bringing a pop-up tent, pop-up pavilion, whatever you want to call it, just so you can sit under it and get a little bit of relief from the hot Texas sun. And then there's 2 areas you can kind of go in. There's like a waiting area that a lot of the really little kids like to stay. It's more shallow. It's the 0 depth entry, or there's like a break wall that you can just climb in over that and get in as well. For my kids, I recommend wearing a life vest. It's just a sense of security for myself. It's easy to get distracted. I like bringing them. Not everybody does. It's, again, personal preference. But definitely have something to play with. Noodles, a raft, beach ball, something to entertain yourself with, because there's not like crazy waves or anything. So, but still, my kids love it because they can actually submerge and get really wet. It's not real shallow. So great place to check out. Number 4 is the Goodfellow Rec Camp. So I kind of break this one up a little bit because the rec camp is huge and it offers so much if you're military. So to use the Goodfellow Rec Camp's rentals or facilities, you've got to be either military member, retired, dependent, or sponsored by one of them. So it's just kind of like getting on base. If you're a civilian, you have to have somebody sponsor you to be able to enter the base or use the facilities. Same thing goes for the rec camp. So you can bring your friends if you're military and you want to share in some of these adventures. We brought our friends kayaking. It was really easy. You just show up, you show your ID, check out whatever you're going to be renting for the day, and pay. Like, it was that simple. You are assuming responsibility for them, their actions, behaviors, and use of the equipment, but that's kind of the norm. That's not anything new for us. And the kayaking was really cheap by doing it through the rec camp. It was $5 for an hour to use the kayaks, and that's whether you do a single kayak or a double kayak. And then they also had paddle boards. I haven't tried that yet. That is on my to-do list. And those were only $7 an hour. So that was really a lot cheaper than renting it from any private facility for sure. They also have other things at the rec camp, like camping, lots of pavilions if you wanted to have a get-together. Not recommending that during COVID, but in the future, keep it in mind because it gives you a lot of shade. And then there's some awesome playgrounds there and fire pits. I know when we first moved here, we did like a huge work gathering with my husband's work, and it was enough that we could all spread out but still have a huge picnic and everything, so it was really enjoyable. So definitely keep that in mind. You can do, like I said, kayaks, paddle boards. They have boat rentals, RV rentals, blow up bounce houses, everything. So I'll put the link in the description below for that as well, because it's a lot of really cheap equipment that's fantastic to be able to use. Number 5 is the rec camp again, but I broke this up because I'm talking specifically for the rec camp pool. Same situation applies for military only or sponsored by military, but the reason I like the rec camp pool is because they limit how many people they're allowing right now for COVID. So not only do you have to be a military member, so it's going to limit how many people are coming anyways, but they only let 30 people in at a time. And every hour and a half, they close to clean for half an hour. And we showed up, sadly, right before they were closing for one of those 30-minute cleaning breaks. And they do, in fact, clean. They did a really good job. I watched them sanitize down all of the bleachers and the seats and whatnot that you can sit on and clean out the pool area. So that was really nice to see that they were really sticking strong to proper cleaning procedures during COVID. Also, I like it because it's free for military or sponsored, so I didn't have to pay an entrance fee. It was really affordable. And I also liked that it was on the weekends. So it's open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 12 until 7:30. Again, they close every hour and a half to clean, so don't be like me and figure out the time frame every hour and a half for the closures. If you do happen to show up and they're cleaning, there is a little playground just between the pool and the rec camp rentals. That was a great place that we were able to kind of chill out for the half an hour, plenty of shade, and let my kids play at. So you do have the option if you mess up like I did. Number 6, the Red Arroyo Trail. This thing is awesome. So it's a 4-mile trail from Sherwood until Knickerbocker, and the Sherwood end is right behind Freddy's, if you know where Freddy's is off of Sherwood, and then the other end goes all the way to Knickerbocker. So you are going to cross College Hills if you're going the whole trail, but it has a lot of like little alcoves to get you to get to that 4 miles. I really like parking at the Unidad Park parking lot because there is like a little separate area for the Red Arroyo, and then you can do that small loop that loops you right around the dog park, and that's just 3/4 of a mile loop. So it was easy to rollerblade. My kids love rollerblading there. We do that loop twice and then they're wiped out. They're really good for the day. And I also like it there because if you park by the Unidad Park, there's bathrooms, because you know with kids you are going to have a bathroom break at some point. So it's great to park right there and have the accessibility of both. And then if you want to go play at the park after, you can. I also liked that there's so much artwork there. It's really cool. They have a lot of like statues, and they have these huge giant like ants that double as benches, and mosaic benches that glow in the dark, and just lots of interesting things to see on the trail. It's not just this road or stretch of concrete that you can't, lose yourself in the run. I liked that there were things to distract us with. They do allow pets. You just have to have them on a leash. So we will go there, walk our dogs, we'll go bike riding, we will rollerblade, we'll take walks. There's plenty of things you can do on this trail, so I definitely recommend checking the trail out. Number 7 is Unidad Park. So this is the park that's right next to the Red Arroyo Trail. It's a toddler playground park, and we loved it so much because our kids are up about 4 years apart in age, and so a lot of the parks seem to be geared towards one age group or another, where this park both of my kids have a good time at. And the whole park is wheelchair accessible, so if you have a handicapped member of your family with you, there are 2 wheelchair accessible swings, and then there's also a swing that you can actually lock your wheelchair in and swing the entire wheelchair as a swing. So I thought that was really awesome that some of our parks here in San Angelo have the accessibility. This playground is all on a rubber squishy mat ground, so you're not having to pick out wood chips out of your shoes or anything like that. This park is really spread out too. There's the large playground area, and then they have a huge pavilion section. The one thing I don't like about the pavilion section right now is that you are going to be grouped really close together, but under normal circumstances that wouldn't bother me at all. There's also a large like art area off to the side that has like this spiral maze in the ground that my kids love racing through it. And then there's like more seating area off to the side. There's also a baseball area that you could use as a little baseball field. It's all grass, so it's not like a baseball field, but it's got the backup, so if you wanted to do some batting practice, that's there as well. And I also like this area because there's wildlife. There's these little ground squirrels that my kids think are hilarious. They're everywhere. There's all these little holes spread out, and kids will always throw, slices of bread or little Cheetos or whatever from their lunch, and then they'll pop up and try to grab them and take them into their hole. So that gives another thing for my child to do. Number 8 is another double duty. So this one is Brown Park, or Glenmore Park. So Brown Park is my preference. If it doesn't work for you, Glenmore is a close second. This is for playing tennis. My son really likes playing tennis. He started doing some lessons at Bentwood before all the closures happened, and I wanted to keep up with it and practice, and I needed somewhere to go take him to go play. So number 9 is the Twin Buttes Reservoir / Middle Concho Park. So the reason it's kind of both is to get to the Twin Buttes Reservoir to go mountain biking, we had to go through Middle Concho Park and then park there. That also introduced me to how awesome Middle Concho Park is. It's huge. There's boating, swimming, fishing, you name it. It's a lake park, so there's a lot to offer there, and it's really spread out and lots of huge overgrown trees to give you shade. So I really would say picnic there after you've ridden your bikes at the Twin Buttes Reservoir. So after you park there, there's a fence line to get into the Twin Buttes Reservoir. It is $12 for a permit fee to use the reservoir annually. And once you get that, it's all done online. You get that, then you just bring that with you every time you go in case anybody asks. You hop over this fence with your bikes, and it was a good ride. It was a nice way to change it up. My husband said that the actual trails up there were a lot more advanced, so we weren't wanting to do the actual trails. So we just did the fire road. And even though that's kind of boring, just always riding fire roads because it's not going to wind you through any crazy hills or anything, it was nice because it was a gradual climb. It wasn't some steep hill. My 6-year-old was able to do this, so that kind of puts it into perspective for you. When you go to Middle Concho Park on the weekends or on a holiday, there is an entrance fee, so just be aware of that. You have to bring cash for it. It was $3 for our whole carload to get in. And other than that, if you're going during the week, you don't have to worry about the entrance fee. But keep that in mind, just have cash on you. Number 10 is the San Angelo Farmers Market. So I know this isn't like an adventure place or destination, but I really like including it because I think it's really important to introduce your kids to our farmers here in San Angelo. So a lot of the local farmers will get together. It's open Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays from 7 a.m. until they sell out. Oftentimes I'll go around like 9 a.m. and there have been most of the vendors still there. They sell anything from local produce to fresh eggs, goat cheese, homemade soaps, artwork that they've made out of like painted gourds and whatnot. So everything is locally made and locally produced, which I really love supporting. Beware, not all the vendors accept cards, so bring cash on hand with you. And every Saturday we've gone so far, the kettle corn guy has been there. My kids and I love fresh kettle corn, and the owner is Semper Fi. He's a retired military guy, and he started a kettle corn company, so we love going out and supporting him as well. And it's just something fun to break up the day and go do something on a Saturday morning. So I also wanted to give you a bonus, number 11. So this isn't actually in San Angelo, it's just into Cristobal, but it's so close that I think it's important to have it in there as well. We've done the video on the Cristobal low water crossing. You can find it in my videos if you go into my channel, and then see how much fun it is there. It's like a 15-minute drive from San Angelo. It's free. There isn't a whole lot of parking, but if you're going during the week, not a problem. And then if you're going on the weekend, you might just have to park a little ways away. The water was so nice. It's running water from the Concho River, and there's just so much to do that I highly recommend checking this place out. So I hope you guys really enjoyed my top 10, actually top 11 places to go in San Angelo. If you have a top place that you'd like to check out that's outdoors and you can bring your kids with, I'd love to hear about it. And I've also liked to hear if you've gone to some of the places I've suggested and what you've done there. So let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.